our lifestyle, our quality of life is not what it used to be in New York. Let's be honest. And a lot of people look down on it, and they look at places that have no state income tax and have beautiful neighborhoods, and younger neighborhoods, and safer neighborhoods, and better schools, and better roads, and better golf courses. Well, not better golf courses, because we have great golf courses. But the point is, New York is not the attraction it was 50 years ago. It becomes a little bit of a negative. You got to overcome it. Nashville is a hot town. No state income tax, growing town, just like Austin's a hot town.
I don't know if I would classify Austin, Texas as a hot city. The weather is miserably hot. If you're the captain of the float in the Pride Parade, Austin is a beautiful place for Ted and Fred to raise their children. But if you're trying to escape New York City, if you're trying to escape the woke fungus, Austin would not be on my list of preferred destinations. But other than that, everything Mike Francesca said was correct. And this is kind of a big deal. This is a big admission coming from a native New Yorker. Hell, for decades, Mike Francesca has been one of the voices of sports radio in New York City. New Yorkers are very prideful. They are proud to be born and raised in New York City. Uncle KC used to dream of living in New York. When I was growing up, I wanted to be on the radio. I wouldn't say that I wanted to be the next Howard Stern. I always wanted to be the first Uncle KC. But before he made the courageous transition from Howard to Howie, Howard Stern was inspirational to anyone who wanted to work in radio. For decades, if you made it in radio in New York City, you had officially made it. Rappers would wait outside the building, hoping to see one of the DJs going into the studio, begging them to play their singles on the radio. Whether it was news, sports, talk shows, talk radio, New York City was the dream. People didn't dream of making it in Philadelphia. Back in the 90s, people didn't aspire to be on the radio in Atlanta or Miami. Those were pit stops. Those were stepping stones. Those were the cities that you worked in on your way to New York City. I remember when I was a senior in high school, we were drinking one night playing cards at one of my girlfriend's houses. She wasn't my girlfriend. We weren't dating. She was just a girl who was a friend. We were friends anyway. Her mom was drinking and playing cards with us. She was a successful woman, made a lot of money in her career. Since we were seniors, she was asking about our plans for college, asking about our majors, what we wanted to do for a living. I told her I wanted to be on the radio, wanted to work in radio. She encouraged me to find another career. She explained that a vast majority of people working in radio, they are making less money than the minimum wage earners in the WNBA dump. She told me how it was damn near impossible to have a successful career in radio, at least financially. Unfortunately, I listened to her. Now, in her defense, I guess she was trying to look out for me, and she definitely wasn't wrong. At the time, if you weren't regionally or nationally syndicated in radio, the pay was the drizzling shits. When I told her I wanted to live in New York City, she damn sure told me that I was on the wrong career path. Back then, millions of people dreamed of living in New York. It was the place to be. Even the last time I was there back in 2019, New York City was amazing, but now New York City is the place that everyone seems to be leaving. Hell, I won't even go up there and visit right now. We were actually planning a trip to New York. My wife, daughter, they've never been up there. I was going to take them to see the Knicks play at Madison Square Garden, the 9/11 Memorial, Times Square, the touristy stuff that people who have never been to New York want to see. But as soon as Zohran Mamdani was elected, my wife said, no bueno. Seems like we're not the only ones who want nothing to do with New York City. According to Mike Francesca, along with the recent population decline, seems like thousands and thousands of people are looking to escape. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. The reason Mike Francesca was talking about this is because the New York Giants have been searching for a new head coach. It looks like John Harbaugh could be signing with the Giants. Actually, I think while I was recording this video, John Harbaugh actually did sign with the Giants. But in the past, teams in New York City, they had no trouble signing high-profile coaches and players. The Knicks, the Yankees, Giants, Jets, Mets, the Nets. Historically, New York teams, they had no trouble attracting players and free agents. But over the last few years, New York hasn't really been viewed as the crown jewel that it once was. Matter of fact, it's now being viewed as the polished turd. Back in 2017, some dude named Nigel Hayes Davis, he went undrafted in the NBA draft. He received an offer from the New York Knicks to play on their summer league roster. He eventually signed with them temporarily, but he was hesitant to sign because he didn't want to live in New York City. According to Nigel Hayes Davis, New York City is dirty, it's filthy. This was not some high-profile free agent. This wasn't a dude with a lot of options. This was someone coming out of college, going undrafted in the NBA draft, not wanting to play in New York. It's not hard to understand why some players and coaches are resistant to living in New York. For starters, the taxes are outrageous. Me personally, I think everyone should have to manually pay their taxes. Same thing with health insurance. There's a reason that taxes and insurance are automatically taken out of your paychecks before you see your own money. There's a reason they take your money before it's given to you. If people had to pay for their own health insurance without companies subsidizing it, you know what would happen? No one would buy it, and once people quit paying for it, healthcare premiums would magically decline. If everyone had to pay their taxes quarterly or annually, there would be a revolt. I pay my taxes a little throughout the year, but I usually send a big lump sum payment in October every year. It literally sickens me when I have to pay taxes, mainly because half the country isn't contributing. So I'm paying more because they're not paying a damn thing. This is why business owners, this is why independent contractors like myself, we do everything we can to lessen our tax burden. It's no different with professional coaches, professional athletes. Think about it. Let's pretend for a second that you're a veteran player in the NBA. You're a role player. You're on a MLE contract, mid-level exception contract, making $15 million a year. If you're playing in Miami, if you're playing in Dallas, you're paying $0 in state income tax. If you're playing for the Knicks or the Nets in New York City, you're paying over $2 million a year. But KC, these dudes are rich. Who cares if they're paying $2 million in taxes? They still have $13 million left over. That $2 million only covers state income tax in New York. That does not include federal income taxes. But even if we're just talking about state taxes, even if we're just talking about $2 million a year, I don't care how much money you have. If you have the option of giving the government $2 million or keeping the money to yourself, vast majority of people, they're going to keep the money to themselves. The polish was melting off the New York City turd before Zohran Mamdani was even elected. In 2022, almost 400,000 people left New York City. According to 2024 estimates, the population of New York City has declined by another 4%. And with Zorro as the lead destroyer, it's only going to get worse. Believe it or not, a lot of NFL coaches and players, They're Christians. There are a lot of dudes in the NFL who are Trump supporters. But Casey, what about Troy Vincent? He's one of the NFL executives, and he just admitted publicly that he was embarrassed by America. Yeah, Troy Vincent is a doofus. I know people complain about Roger Goodell. Hey, it's me, Roger G! Uncle Roger damn sure hasn't been the best commissioner, but he is a much better option than Troy Vincent. But even with Pastor Troy being a woke doofus, there are a lot of players and coaches in the NFL who aren't willing to sit on the carpet and pray 5 times a day. Taxes in New York City are already outrageous, and Zohran Mamdani is trying to raise them. He wants to tax rich people more so he can give some of that money to people who aren't working. He can give some of that money to the homeless so they no longer have to pay to sleep on the bus every night. And maybe he'll use the rest of the money to build these nice communes, government housing. More specifically, communist government housing. If you're an NFL player, if you're a Wall Street executive with options, would you want to live in New York City? Supposedly, Dallas is on its way to becoming the new financial capital of America. Of course, Dallas is going through their own problems with Islam, but at least they have a governor who's willing to fight it. For normal people, it is prohibitively expensive to live in New York City. And like Mike Francesca said, the quality of life is rapidly deteriorating. It's one thing to pay $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month for rent, and you're living in a clean city. You have 5-star amenities. You don't have to worry about crime. Unfortunately, that is not life in New York City. The streets are filthy. You're walking over piles of doodle on the sidewalk. Woke white women are protesting in support of Sharia law. And with Zohran Mamdani just getting started, it is going to get significantly worse. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.